Going on to you, Pisces. Y'all came through and gave me the most views. So as I said, y'all get the first video. So for you, Pisces, I'm going back to the Mermaid Tarot. You have the Queen of Pentacles, the Page of Cups, and then you also have the Ace of Wands. So what's going on with you, Pisces, is that a lot of you Pisces are very much so doing what you normally do. You're in your bag, you're concentrating, you're focused on your own imagination. You know, Pisces is about imagination. Pisces rules imagination. And so, and Virgo rules using what you gain from your imagination, right? Those two things, those two polarities going back and forth with one another. And so the point that I'm trying to make here with that is that a lot of you Pisces are in a place where y'all very much so are, like I said, just focusing on what it is that you got to do. The Queen of Pentacles is a very prepared queen, and the Page of Cups is especially in this reading, is a person where normally, you know, it can mean delusion. I don't think it means delusion in this one. I think it means a person who is focused on what they want to be focused on and is not really minding or is very interested in what other people has got going on, right? Whatever they've got going on, you Pisces are not interested in that. A lot of you are very much so minding your own business. The Ace of Wands represents, you know, again, focusing on your life, trying to make sure that your life is set, regardless of whatever, you know, regardless of whatever a person says or whatever they think or whatever the case may be, just focusing on what is good for you and what you have to do, right? And that's really one of the best policies to do, is to focus on what you have to do. Because, you know, far too often, you know, people are very much so, you know, enraptured and focused, hyper-focused on what other people what other people have, you know, and so they so focused on what other people have to the point where they end up missing the mark and dropping the ball on what they've got going on, you know, and that's not you. You Pisces are very much so focused. You know, you're normally focused on what it is that y'all got to do anyway, focused on what you have to do. And so, like I said, in your imagination, the Five of Cups and the Tower card represent here, you know, once again, wishing, you know, even pouncing on certain opportunities that you have, whether it's business, whether it's, you know, you figure some things out that could get you some money. A lot of you Pisces are, enterprising type of people. So what I mean when I say enterprising, I'm talking about how a lot of you are some money getters. A lot of you Pisces are people that, you know, when you think about how to get a dollar, a lot of you very much so, you know, use your common sense or you use your imagination to come up with an idea, whether it's something that is a path that's already laid out for you, or it's a path that you are going to be taking all on your own. That's just spontaneous. You know, my mother, you know, she used to be out here. She used to, you know, be able to get her hands on, you know, some things and be able to actually, you know, sell it. She used to sell, you know, kitchenware, whatever, you know, kitchenware, pots, you know, whatever the case may be, clothes, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be. And, you know, she wasn't boosting because she was actually paying for it. And then just would have, you know, people would come rock with her because they like her. They would come rock with her, buy from her. And so again, that kind of, you know, ambition and stuff like this, that ability to, you know, make a business out of something that seemingly starts off small, is where it is that I get my, you know, pedigree from. You know what I mean? It's in my system. And so the Five of Cups here and the Tower card really speaks to, how a lot of you just kind of you're just kind of like regretful that you didn't know this information sooner, right? That's the one thing that we regret. That's the one thing that we just it's the fact that whenever it is that we are on our grind, why can't we know what it is that we know sooner, right? Why is it so difficult for us, and why is it that we can't know what we now know sooner? If we would have knew, if we would have knew back then what we know now, we would be in a much better position. We would be in a much different position, right? It would be better. But at the same time, you have to understand that, ultimately it is what it is. Sometimes things are fixed in time, where it's like it had to play, sorry about that, it had to play itself out in real time in order for it to actually work the way, Sometimes you may have known something much earlier and you probably would have been unprepared. And so the Six of Pentacles, the Nine of Swords, and the Two of Swords right here represents how a lot of you are in a position where, the Six of Pentacles, right, represents how, because what I'm seeing here for you is that you very much so are interested in doing what it is that you are doing and then getting value out of it. So this is important because this is about how your whole perspective changed about doing for others, and then they never look out for you, and then you spend years and years and years, or a prolonged amount of time wanting them to do good, but at the same time they end up showing you time and time and time again how it is that can't necessarily, time and time and time again, how they can't necessarily, they don't really, they like you, but they have this thing about you where, they gotta get over their own insecurity that's showing up, but they never do. And so what the thing is that the Six of Pentacles represents, a lot of you Pisces are thinking a lot more fair-minded, where it's like, you're not counting, right? You're not like in people's pockets counting, but at the same time, a person, has to consider you. They can't just be inconsiderate or go out of their way, because the reason why it is I'm saying that they can't be inconsiderate and go out of their way to be disrespectful, right? They can't just do that. They have to actually respect you. It's because, make no mistake about it, like a lot of the times when people are disrespecting you, make no mistake about it, Pisces, they're doing it intentionally. They're going out of their way to be as disrespectful as they possibly can to you. And it's weird, it's very weird. It comes off as very weird. And the reason why it's so weird is due to the fact that the situation for you, the reason why it's so weird for you, Pisces, or the reason why it's so weird in general, is due to the fact that, like, what exactly is the end goal of what it is that they're thinking, right? Like, why make you the villain? Like, why? Like, what is the point of that? And so it makes them just look not good. And so the Nine of Swords and the Two of Swords right here represents, so it's this instance in which your life is going so well. What if those people come back, right? Like, what, there's still some questions a lot of you Pisces may have. What if those people come back? What if you haven't changed and you're just in a delusion, right? Well, you're not in a delusion. And how we know that you're not in a delusion is because you're actually seeing results from your mentality. So you're not in a delusion because you're actually getting what you want, right? It would be a delusion if you thought like this, and either things stayed the same, which you didn't like, or it may have gotten worse. Then you would have been like, okay, you gotta, like, you're not making any kind of improvements. Like, you may want to kind of, recalibrate that a little bit. But The Nine of Swords and the Two of Swords just represents how, your relationship with other people, it's getting better and worse, meaning that you're becoming more popular and sought after, but the question is, can they actually be with you and stay with you? Your relationships might end up getting worse because of the fact that you're at this point, those people will show you that they're not built for it if they're not. So the closer they are to you is the more pressure is applied. And so the Seven of Cups now in the Strength card right here represents how, because another thing that will be an insecurity point for a lot of other people is the fact that you, Pisces, essentially, again, you're becoming more sought after. People want to hang around you more. So it's not like, again, this is not a delusion. I thought about maybe if it was a delusion myself back in 2019 when I was figuring out certain things after watching that movie. And at first I thought it was delusional. At first I thought it was delusional. I was like, okay, well, what's going on with this thing? Because why is it that, like, I don't even know how to think. Like, how do I know this thing would be real? And then the longer I stayed in the waters, the more I was able to become a mermaid, if you know what I mean, right? Like, the longer I just gave it a chance is the more I started to see results from it, right? What if you Pisces were fly? What if you Pisces were fly the whole time, and that it was actually those people that was trying their best to make it seem like you're not worth a lot? What if it was the other way around? What if it was you Pisces were fly the whole time, but they were the ones that was dysfunctional and wasn't worth a lot? What then? And so, you see how you can go from not really, thinking that it's the truth because they just play a good game, don't they? They just, the way that they play it, the disrespect that they give you, you would think that, the disrespect is just so warranted, right? Like they're being disrespectful to you because you've done something, or you deserve it because the way that you treat people or whatever, and word got back to them somehow, right? But then when you actually start questioning it and you're like, no, because you're treating people well, and you've changed your reputation around for the better. So why are they like wilding? It's to the point of it's to the point where it's goofy, right? You're just making sure. It's to the point of them being goofy. Like, it doesn't even make any sense. Then okay, they're more than likely trying to cover up the fact that they're mad insecure around you. They're very insecure around you. So the greed pops up, the jealousy, the greed pops up, the gluttony pops up, the them thinking that they shouldn't have to do anything to be where you are pops up. You know what I'm saying? The excessive confidence and stuff like this, or the feeling like they're owed something or whatever. And it's like, now you Pisces are actually the reality has been changed the way that it should have been. And that's the thing, that when it comes to the whole Mandela effect, that's what the Mandela effect is talking about, right? It's the fact that, like, when they talk about the Mandela effect, right? Personally, what I think it really is that the reality is actually making itself the way that things actually should have been in a reality where we didn't have dysfunction, right? Or less dysfunction, or people wasn't going for the dysfunction, and things actually was coming from the perspective of where they should have been, right? Because I went from being attractive sometimes to being attractive a lot more in a twinkling of an eye. And it's like, well, what happened between the years of 2012 to up to now, right? Like, and 2012 was when it was supposed to have done that stuff. So, you know, what's happening for you Pisces now is things that should have really have happened with you for a very long time. It's just that people are fake and fronting and trying to get you Pisces to not feel important, not feel good about yourselves, to make y'all feel less than, to not have you confident, because you know, if you Pisces, you know, are actually confident or whatever, you know, you shouldn't be like that, because if a person is acting up and wilding, you can just go get another person that will act like they have more sense in their head. Otherwise, you'll just dump them, heal for a little bit, and then go find someone else. And they don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know, you know, how much power that you Pisces have. So what they'll do, they'll play games. They'll try to play games with your mind, all types of goofy stuff. So let's clarify the Strength card. So the Strength card now represents, now you Pisces understand your own value. What's happening here is that you're flying in the face of the concept that you're not supposed to be able to do certain things, and you're not supposed to, and elitism and social hierarchy and all that trash, right? All of that, when people come at you from a disrespectful standpoint, it's like they can try this if they want, but they're going to find out really quickly, because now the Nine of Cups, right? The Nine of Cups, the Temperance, the Ace of Wands, the Six of Wands, and then you Pisces also have the Hierophant. So that's my point. The Nine of Cups, the Temperance, and the Ace of Wands represents, the Nine of Cups represents their own overconfidence, right? When someone comes to you being overly confident in any area, right? If you have to, it's one thing if you're just gonna interact with them and you're not really gonna ever see them again, but it's another thing to where if you're gonna see them a lot. The Temperance and the Ace of Wands represents, you will basically let them know what's up in very quick fashion, and they will find out very quickly that you Pisces are not one to really take lightly, right? Very lightly, because you Pisces will literally articulate it to them in a way where they actually get the message of what it is that you Pisces are trying to communicate. That, you know, y'all are not the one to be constantly disrespecting, because you don't deserve the disrespect. Where's the disrespect coming from? And it's going to look real stupid on their part where they can't answer that question. And so now you have the Six of Wands and the Hierophant, which represents how, and after that point, you know, it'll make them look not good, right? The Six of Wands and the Hierophant, because you move in the way that you Pisces were supposed to move. You don't care about what other people got going on. You Pisces are moving in the way that you're supposed to have always been moving. It's just that the reality for you has corrected itself once it is that you stopped buying into the delusion that you're not good, right? Because I talked about this before. A lot of people are on opposite day. Let me tell you something. 9 chances out of 10, the more people tell you that you're not worth anything, especially when it's not warranted, I'm telling you, more than likely, it's the opposite. It's just that they're playing a game, you know? So I'm sure a lot of you Pisces can account for a good amount of people telling you that you're not worth it and you don't deserve this or whatever. And then it all turned out to be hogwash. But that's it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. Trying to get the YouTube channel to 100K. I'm at 25,460 something, 70 something. Smash the subscribe button, like button, hit the notification bell, set the notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever I drop my videos. Peace.